It's another new ukulele brand on GotAUkulele this week, although not quite. Keep watching. Yes, it's GotAUkulele review day. This is the summary video review, as I always say. Read the written review linked below every video. You'll get a lot more detail. Also consider the Patreon link. It does help keep this site going because GotAUkulele is not sponsored by any brands like some video reviewers are. Okay, that intro. So it's a new brand for me, but it looks like something you may have seen before, and there's a reason for that. The new brand is called Freebird, and it is the brainchild of Liam Gordon at Freebird Music in Leeds, who has put out a range of instruments under his own shop name, which is something that quite a few stores do. World of Ukes have done it, Southern Ukulele Store have done it. It's quite a nice idea because you know you're getting something that the brand and the shop are proud to put their name to. Now, the reason why it might look familiar, this is the Freebird KT1-T Tenor. Is that I reviewed some time ago an instrument by a company called Mr. My, who are carried exclusively by Freebird Music, their MM80 Concert, which is made of all solid acacia, and it was a very nice instrument. And the reason is because Liam, because he likes them and they've done very well, he's put his faith in that brand, and he's got exclusivity on this one, and also now the MM80, which now come in the Freebird branding. It's a neat idea. I like it. So these are made by Mr. My for Liam, but it's a Freebird branded instrument. And this is a tenor scale instrument and actually represents something of a value instrument to the MM80. And the reason for that is whilst it's another acacia instrument, this only has a solid top. So that's a solid two-piece top on the sides, all solid acacia. The back and sides, which are nicely book matched, are made of laminate acacia. Not that you'd tell that there was really any difference because the colour matching is pretty good. It's not the most striking acacia, it's not stripy and curly and flamey, but it's hardly unattractive, is it? And I rather like it, like I liked the MM80. It is paler looking, but it's got a nice sort of orangey brightness to it, which I do like. The bridge is made of ebony, that kind of reverse moustache style, fitted with a compensated bone bridge. It's a tie bar style, it's very tidily done. And decoration wise, you get ebony edge binding around the top, which then kind of morphs into this comfort edge, which a lot of people really like. It is very comfortable. And also the Mr. My typical sound hole inlay there, wooden pieces of wood in chevrons which are put around the sound hole as inlays, so not a transfer. That's really nice. Inside, the body is all finished in a really nice gloss. If that wasn't too obvious, you can see the reflections of the room I'm in and the lighting and the microphone. Yeah, it's really nicely done, no real pooling, no scratches, no flaws. Good quality, actually. Nice thin top to the soundboard, and looking inside, there's pictures on the review. Really tidy, thin braces, notch linings, no glue, no mess. Really good so far. The neck is made of akume wood. There's a joint pretty well hidden up here. There's a joint that's almost indistinguishable up at the headstock. From memory to the MM80, this feels a little bit flatter on profile, which I like. Less rounded, less Chinese. And it's also helped by a really comfortable 38 or just over 38 mil at the nut and just over 30 mil G2A string spacing. That's really good. It's topped with an ebony fingerboard, which is nice and dark, uniform in colour. You get 18 frets with 14 to the body. There are no sharp edges because the edges are bound in wood. And I do really like these position markers. This is the same 12th as on the MM80, but we now get these sort of pennant with a dovetail at the bottom at the 3rd, 5th, 7th, 10th and 15th to complement them. I like them because they're just different enough. I love that offset, and thankfully they're repeated with dots on the side. No complaints at all. Okay. Bone nut setup on this, incidentally, both at nut and saddle, really good. At first glance, a regular slotted headstock, but with this bit missing. I like things like this. Don't change the way ukulele plays. It's purely about aesthetics and looking that little bit different. And I really like how that looks different. It's faced in ebony, in gloss. The the Freebird logo there, which is a peace dove, is inlaid in pearl. It's all done really well. I do like the look of that headstock a lot. It's really funky. And tuners rear facing, unbranded gears with black and gold hardware. I think they look terrific. You also get a set of Ukulele strings, and that's your lot. Now, whereas the concert scale all solid model was going to come in at about 400 quid, this is 229. That's a really good price. It's a really good price. Certainly better than some of the Carlas with solid tops, probably putting it into the sort of snail categories. It's a very good price, 229. It's a really nicely appointed instrument. Okay, some people would say it's not got solid on the back. Some people actually like laminate on back and sides because they say it allows the top character wood to do its thing, and it just purely serves as something to project. Whatever you think about it, you wouldn't know it wasn't solid. It's really well put together. Dead light, really nicely balanced, feels great in the hands. I do like that comfort edge, very comfortable. Let's tune it up because it is a new instrument. Just make sure with the strobe, and then we'll get on to playing it. The boring bit. I think it is in tune actually because I've been playing it. Now, what I'll say, I don't have the MM80 here still to compare. It's a bit unfair to compare because they are different scales, but it's got a really nice, pretty, clear tone. From memory, it's not as loud. Not so much that you notice when you're strumming it, but I notice it more when I'm finger picking it. Now maybe a string change would change that, but I'm not being critical there. It's just different. The MM80 had quite a big punch to it. Maybe it is because this isn't all solid wood, but that's a really pretty tone, and it's bright and rich, which is what a Acacia does. Kind of jangling. Like that. It is bright, but it's balanced. Finger picking, that's where I've got to dig in a little bit more. Still pretty. I don't dislike this at all, and it gave me a bit of a trouble with scoring it really, because when I worked the scores out, it actually came out with exactly the same score as the Concert MM80, which is all solid. Now people will say, well, why then get the solid wood version if you've given it the same score? Well, it's not quite that simple, is it? Because yeah, they both sound very good. They're both built very well. Some people are just really after all solid woods, and you go for that one, and you have to pay more to get that. If you're not bothered about all solid wood, you get this one, and you don't have to pay as much. And that's really as simple as it is, really. I think they're both really good. They're not Kamakas, they're not Koaloas, they're not Canaleas, they're not trying to be. It's 229 quid. But it's a really pretty instrument with some appointments that look different. It's really well put together, and Liam is a nice guy, and it's nice to support little local shops that put their name to things like this, I think. The Freebird model KT1-T Tenor, solid acacia top, laminate acacia back and sides, funky looking headstock. Sounds good, really nice little instrument actually, and I think it'll do you well. It gets a recommended and a very good score because there's not much to dislike about it, is there really? There we are. Enjoy the rest of your weekend. I'm back next week. Not sure what's coming next. I'm having to jiggle around, but I've got some really weird stuff coming too. See you soon. Go carefully. Bye bye.